Big brands are moving ad budgets away from TV and print and taking them to the world's largest social network. One firm, TBG Digital, found that the cost per click of an ad placed on Facebook has increased by 74% over the last 4 years. We're joined today by an expert in this field. Kevin O'Connor founded and ran online ad broker DoubleClick, which Google bought for $3 billion. He's now started a comparison search engine called FindTheBest.com. Welcome to Bloomberg West.
Good to be here, Emily.
I want to start with FindTheBest. Tell me what a comparison search engine is.
Yeah, you know, we've all had the problems. You go online and you have a big considered purchase to make, and I don't know, the internet's become kind of like Tijuana. Everyone's pushing things at you, trying to sell you things you don't need. All the affiliate shills out there telling you what's best. And we want to just do this very objective comparison engine to help people make big decisions. Give them the facts. Which colleges, help them decide which colleges, which private school my kid should go to, which dog I should get for the family, or which document management system I need for my law firm.
I'm notoriously indecisive, so I think I could definitely use that. You guys just raised a second round of funding. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Kleiner Perkins invested in us in December, and they did the initial round, and things have been progressing so well. They came in again, and we raised almost $7 million to date to expand operations and expand what we're doing. We've launched the data-driven content platform.
Wonderful.
Which is very unique.
Congratulations on that. What data-driven content platform, what do you mean by that?
So if you think about, if you're a kayak fan, what they've done for travel, allow people to very simply make travel decisions. Well, there's 1,000 other big decisions you got to make in life, and data is very complicated. We've come up with a model that allows consumers and businesses to very easily manipulate that data and to make a decision. Right? Data is worthless unless you can help people make a decision. And our biggest focus right now is on products and services. So whether it's which nursing home I should send my parents to, or
hopefully they're not watching.
They're fine. Sorry, they're in great shape. Or which ski resort we should go to on vacation.
Now, I want to talk to you about advertising. Your business, DoubleClick, really revolutionized online advertising in its time. It was eventually bought by Google. Now there's a new frontier of advertising, social media and social networking advertising. How do you see that world evolving?
So, I mean, one of the struggles you get when you're in a social environment is we saw this, social's been around for a long time. We used to call it chat rooms and bulletin boards and forums. People are communicating. So you get a lot of volume of advertising, but it doesn't necessarily perform. What's great, though, about Facebook, and I've played around with Facebook advertising quite a bit, is you can really identify what interests people, and you can really micro-target what works for them. And it can be very effective.
So how do you think Google can get in on the game?
I mean, I love Google+. I think it's a really brilliant idea. I think the whole circles, I think that's the way most of us operate. You've got a family, you've got business, you've got customers, you've got old classmates, and the way you treat them is differently. So I think that's brilliant. But Google also has a lot of intent. I mean, we're very focused on one thing I learned at DoubleClick: purchase intent dominates from an advertising perspective. You know when someone's looking for a car, or someone's interested in something, or if they're a CEO of a publishing company, the social place is a great way to target advertising to them.
I want to ask you another question. Bob Lutz wrote a book saying that engineers should be running companies rather than MBAs. You once pointed out that engineers built DoubleClick, but MBAs sold it for a great amount of money. Where do you weigh in on this issue?
Well, I mean, look, there's great engineers, there's great business MBAs. I think one thing that I always struggle with from a business perspective, to me, business is very simple. And engineers have a very simple approach to business. There's problems out there in the world, and if you pick a big problem and you solve it better than anybody else, you make lots of money. Right? And a lot of times I think people, especially finance folks, will take a look at a business and they'll lay out the strategy. We're going to increase earnings by 15% next year. That's not a strategy, right? I mean, how do the only reason a business exists is to solve somebody else's problem. And so everything should be geared, in my mind, is how do you solve that problem better? And you look at the great companies, the Googles and the Apples, it's all about solving people's problems. And it's not about how do you increase gross profit or gross margin? But hey, there's a place for both.
All right, Kevin O'Connor of FindTheBest.com. Thanks for joining us. Congrats on raising your second round of funding led by Kleiner Perkins. Great to have you here.